Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and in this video I am going to be reviewing the cinnamon swirl bread from Keto Bakes. I've done a handful of reviews on Keto Bakes products, and for the most part I've really liked them. One of the ones that I didn't care so much for were the cinnamon rolls. In this video I'm going to see what I think of the cinnamon bread. Let's start by taking a look at the nutritional information and ingredients. Alright, it says we've got 16 slices per loaf. It lists both the nutritional information for the mix itself and prepared. I'm concerned about prepared, so let's take a look at that. 4.5 grams of total fat, 8 grams of total carbs, of which 4 grams, it says, is dietary fiber, 4 grams of sugar alcohol for a net 0 grams of carbs, and 4 grams of protein. I always get a little bit uncomfortable when people say 0 net grams of carbs, because for the most part that's not possible. I think lots of times what it is it's just rounding. There's something probably less than 1 gram of net carbs. But let's move on here. We've got, for ingredients, non-GMO blanched almond flour, non-GMO erythritol, organic psyllium husk, certified gluten-free oat fiber, cinnamon, Himalayan pink salt, baking yeast, aluminum-free baking powder, xanthan gum, natural butter flavor, and pure stevia extract. So now let's see how easy it is to make and how it tastes. While we preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, we'll start making the batter/dough, starting with 1 1/4 cups of liquid egg white. Then we've got 1 cup of water. It's a little bit foamy, a little egg white residue there. Then 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Next we'll add our mix, and I think there's supposed to be a packet of cinnamon in here. Yes, there is. So we'll get that out of the way so that doesn't dump into the rest of the mix. Set that aside. Add the rest of our mix and whisk together until smooth. Then we'll set this aside for 5 minutes and let it firm up. I've covered my cutting board with some plastic wrap here, and I'm going to dump the dough/batter out onto that. You can see how nicely that's thickened up. I'm supposed to spread this out to 1 inch thick, and it's supposed to be the same width as my bread pan. A little too wide here, so I'm going to try and tuck this in, spreading it out a little bit more, and then I'll dump on the cinnamon. Using the plastic wrap, I'm going to roll this up, kind of like a sushi roll. Unfortunately, it keeps wanting to flatten out on me and get wider. So I think this is going to be sort of a tricky transfer here. I've got my bread pan upside down. I'm going to try and scoop from the side here a little bit. Nestle this in. And here we go with the flip. All right, the flowers are still standing. A little messy here. We'll try and square this off, tuck this in a little bit with the spatula, get this fairly flat and even, and then off to the oven. The instructions say for 90 minutes and to resist the temptation to remove it before then. I've waited the full 90 minutes. Let's take that bread out of the oven. This smells good. Now, I tented this with some aluminum foil at about the 70-minute mark, just because I didn't want the top to get overly dark, which is something I've seen happen with their bread. That may have been a mistake, because it looks like the top collapsed a little bit on me. But now we need to let this sit for 60 minutes before we try it out. So, be back in 60 minutes. It does smell really, really good. The loaf has had an hour to cool. Now, even if this doesn't taste very good, it makes a great air freshener. I'm telling you, my house smells wonderful right now. Now, it did deflate a little bit versus what we see here on the bag. Also, still kind of moist here in the center. And hopefully you can see this on my bread knife. There is some moisture, some sort of dough batter type residue. And it's entirely possible that this is my fault from tenting that bread. I'm going to taste the bread though, and then decide if it makes sense for me to try and make another loaf and not tent. It's still slightly warm, and it really, really, I know I said this already, it smells so good. I'm salivating right now. It definitely has sort of that almond flour and psyllium sort of texture that you often get in a keto bread, and it is not especially sweet. In fact, very little sweetness to it. It's more of a cinnamon bread than like a cinnamon sugar bread. It's also still, I think, too moist on the inside. So I think to do a proper review of this bread, I'm going to need to make another loaf. Now, I'm not going to take you through the whole making process again, though I think I'll probably do a little bit of a better job this time in terms of measuring it out and rolling it out and things like that. But yeah, we're going to give this another try just to make sure I'm giving it a fair review. I'm still going to eat this slice, though. So this is loaf number 2. Again, you can see that the top sunk in. I did not tent this. It went for the full 90 minutes. It feels pretty heavy and moist still. Let's take a slice. Like the first loaf I did, this is again still extremely moist. And my oven is calibrated. I went the full 90 minutes. We'll give this one a taste as well. It's all right. I don't especially love it though. I think the combination of the difficulty in making it, the whole process for making it and getting it into a pan is kind of difficult. The way it's baking up, it sinks, it's still moist despite following the instructions. As much as I love some of the other Keto Bakes products, like their regular bread and their buns, and what else have I tried? Their pizza crust, I really, really like all of those. I don't think I can recommend this bread. In fact, I know I can't recommend this bread at this point. But I do know that Keto Bakes is always looking at their instructions and their preparation method. And if they can come up with a way to make this bread that's a little bit more foolproof or idiot proof, whatever you want to call me, I will amend this review. I will put a new pinned comment down at the top of the comments down below. But for right now, I think I'm going to have to say no on this bread. I will let you in on a little secret though. I've been playing around with their pie crust, and I think that has got some real promise to it. I need to do a little bit more in the way of testing. I want to make a quiche with it. I want to make a pumpkin pie with it, but I want to get that review out next month in time for like Thanksgiving, Christmas, whenever you might be doing some pies. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I think that's going to be a good product. But the cinnamon bread, sorry. But hopefully you found this video helpful. If it saved you a couple of bucks, click that thanks button. Buy me a cup of coffee. If you don't feel like buying me a cup of coffee, click the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Tap the bell to turn on all notifications. And check out these other reviews over here. Thanks for watching.